A Tucson woman with a new lease on life. Jacqueline Stopani's organ transplant was a success, but it all came to a sudden end. Jenny Rose has the details.
Phil, less than a month ago, Jacqueline Stopani received a new kidney. The transplant was one of the best the Mayo Clinic has ever performed, but just 17 days later, Stopani slipped away.
As a matter of fact, the surgeon's first word was perfect. The tissue match was so strong, it was almost like twins. Even the doctors were astounded. They said the tissue match was so close, it was eerie.
Jacqueline Stopani's new kidney was working perfectly, but just weeks after getting a new lease on life, the old site where Stopani's dialysis was administered started bleeding.
The artery burst and she basically bled out.
Mary Christensen, the woman who donated her kidney to Stopani, was devastated.
Many times as we talked, we never talked about either one of us not coming out of this.
Christensen and Stopani had struggled to make the transplant a reality, battling hospital administrators who were wary of the fact the two met on a website, MatchingDonors.com.
If there's a good thing that can come out of this, it's that more people will understand how important it is to think about the future, think about perhaps donating.
I would do it all over again. I gave her 17 days of maybe the best days of her life, and she was so hopeful.
Although she's gone, I know she's not complaining. I know she's peaceful. I know that.
Now, Stopani's death had nothing to do with the transplant, which was a complete success. Family members will hold a memorial service for her tomorrow. They have set up a scholarship fund in her name at St. Joseph's Parish. To donate, send a check in Jacqueline Stopani's name to the parish office at 215 South Craycroft Road, 85711.
From the highest high to the lowest low, less than a month ago, Jacqueline Stopani got a new lease on life. But as Jenny Rose reports, days later, that chance slipped away.
Phil, Stopani's kidney transplant was a complete success, but just 17 days later, her old dialysis site started bleeding, and there was nothing doctors could do.
At first, I was just devastated and couldn't believe that happened to Jacqueline.
Jacqueline Stopani's death came as a shock to her family and friends.
The tissue match was so strong, it was almost like twins. Even the doctors were astounded. They said the tissue match was so close, it was eerie.
For months, Stopani and Christensen struggled to make their transplant possible. Hospital administrators at the Mayo Clinic were wary of the donation because the two met on a website, MatchingDonors.com. They met face-to-face in December, and on March 1st, the transplant became a reality.
There's so much enthusiasm, so much hope anticipated that the kidney would last a minimum of 20 years.
I was at the highest high you could be at, and then the lowest low comes along, and it's just devastating.
Christensen says losing Stopani just a short time after giving her a new lease on life is frustrating.
As many times as we talked, we never talked about either one of us not coming out of this.
Despite this tragedy, Stopani's family is thankful her story is spreading the word about MatchingDonors.com.
There's still hope for a lot of people out there. It's a very, very strong and powerful organization that's going to save an awful lot of lives.
Now, Stopani's death had nothing to do with the transplant, which was a complete success. Family members will hold a memorial service for her tomorrow. They have set up a scholarship fund in her name at St. Joseph's Parish. To donate, you can send a check in Jacqueline Stopani's name to the parish office at 215 South Craycroft Road, 85711.
A Tucson family is saying goodbye today. Jacqueline Stopani passed away after receiving a new kidney. Jenny Rose is at St. Joseph's Parish with more.
Destry, the funeral for Jacqueline Stopani started just minutes ago. Now, we first introduced you to Stopani back in December. She was in end-stage renal failure and in desperate need of a kidney transplant. Her son signed her up on MatchingDonors.com, which is a website that pairs people in need of a transplant with potential donors. Mary Christensen was drawn to the Tucson grandmother's story and wanted to donate one of her kidneys. On March 1st, the transplant became a reality.
The tissue match was so strong, it was almost like twins. Even the doctors were the sound. They said the tissue match was so close, it was eerie.
Just 17 days later, Stopani's old dialysis site started bleeding and doctors couldn't stop it. Now, we want to be absolutely clear here. Stopani's death had nothing to do with her kidney transplant. Her family has set up a scholarship fund in her name here at St. Joseph's Parish. To donate, you can send a check made out in Stopani's name to the parish office at 215 South Craycroft Road, Tucson, Arizona, 85711. Reporting live from Broadway and Craycroft, I'm Jenny Rose, KGUN-9 News. Destry, back to you in the studio.
A sad story. Thanks a lot, Jenny.
She had fought for her life, and it appeared a transplant was the miracle she had prayed for. But today, the family of Jacqueline Stopani laid her to rest. Jenny Rose attended the funeral.
Guy, just 1 month ago, Jacqueline Stopani had a new lease on life. Today, her family is dealing with its sudden end.
Our hearts are broken. We have a lot of questions.
On March 1st, after months of waiting, Jacqueline Stopani received a kidney transplant.
She was undying in her spirit of optimism, and that optimism showed in a lot of different ways, and especially with her condition.
She met her donor, Mary Christensen, on MatchingDonors.com. It's a website that pairs people in need of a transplant with potential donors.
The tissue match was so strong, it was almost like twins. Even the doctors were astounded. They said the tissue match was so close, it was eerie.
Just 17 days after surgery, Stopani's old dialysis site started bleeding, and doctors couldn't do a thing to stop it. Stopani's son read a letter from Christensen at the funeral service.
Felt like my heart stopped beating. I couldn't have heard him right. Jacqueline, my second mother. No, she's doing so well.
Stopani's family says the outpouring of community support has helped them get through this trying time.
We didn't realize till we got all the cards and everyone that showed up just how many people she had touched.
Well, it's given me a lot of strength. People that I haven't seen for quite some time, that people that were affected by Jackie.
Even though she's gone, family members say Stopani's spirit will live on.
Yeah, she'll be there with us. So she'll always be there with us.
Now, we want to be clear, Stopani's death had nothing to do with her kidney transplant. Her family has set up a scholarship fund in her name. Now, to donate to that scholarship fund, you can send a check in Jacqueline Stopani's name to the parish office at 215 South Craycroft Road, 85711.